Afternoon, welcome.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Good evening to all. Welcome to the International Youth.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Chitra ma'am. Srimati Guru Lakshmi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening,
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening to all.
Good evening to all.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Gujan ma'am, good evening.
Yes, madam.
Good evening, good evening, madam.
Super, super. Thank you, ma'am.
Very anxiously looking
Yes, ma'am.
for the table.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Prerna. Good
Prerna,
evening.
good evening.
Mohammed Turab, good evening. Good evening to all who have
Good evening to
assembled
all.
here.
Yes, Giridhar Sharma ji, good evening. It's from Punjab.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yes.
Good evening.
Ma'am, welcome, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma. Good
Yes,
evening,
ma'am. Good
Radhika.
evening.
Sorry, I'm extremely sorry for the late
No, no,
coming.
no, 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 no. Ma'am, please.
You are on time.
You are in time.
I'm
We're just
sorry.
waiting some more to get into. We're just
Thank you,
waiting.
thank you,
Some more to
thank you
get
so
into.
much. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, all the students who are coming in. Good evening to all of you. Good evening, madam.
Hi, good evening,
Niharika, ma'am.
Sorry, I had been to the university, but I was from home.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am. Kalanidhi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening, Radhika. Hi.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, pa. Good evening, pa.
Good evening, Kalanidhi, ma'am.
Hi. Good evening, Chitra. Hi. Nice meeting you all.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Sarvesh. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Kalanidhi, ma'am.
Hi, Malati. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Hi.
Ma'am, Principal Sir said he will also join us.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
100 years, sir, has joined.
yes, join. Welcome, sir. Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Madam, good evening, madam.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. So happy to see you, sir. So happy to have you. Yes, sir. எங்க
யாருக்கு
பின்னாடி ரெண்டு பேர் இருக்காங்க.
University. I'm
Oh, that is Guru, Shiva Guru.
Oh,
I suppose. Okay.
okay.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, okay. எல்லாம் பயங்கரமா இருக்குதுடா அப்பா வீட்டுல. நாளைக்கு இவங்க எல்லாம் வந்துட்டாங்கல்ல. இது ஒரு ஜாலியா இருக்கு சாயங்காலம் மீட் பண்ணலாம். இது கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல வந்துடலாம். மெயில்ல வந்தா தான் ஓபன் பண்ணணும் கம்ப்யூட்டர். இல்லைன்னா இதுல வாட்ஸ்அப்ல கஷ்டம். கலாநிதி மேடம் கிரேட் தான்.
வந்துட்டேன் சார். நியூஸ்க்கு போயிட்டு வந்துட்டேன். Yes, sir.
Radhika ma'am, shall we start? Let the children come in. YouTube is also on, so they're also joining in that. So I think we can start. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Shall we
Kalani
start?
ma'am, we'll start.
Shall we start,
Mute
Kalani, ma'am?
ourselves. Yeah. She's not able to hear.
Yes. Sir, shall we start, sir?
எஸ் மேடம், எஸ் மேடம்.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, namaste, namaskar, and vanakkam to everyone present here. With the blessings of our presiding Deity Guru Nanak Dev Ji, myself Radhika and Dr.K.Umadevi, staff coordinators, welcome you all for the day 2 of the 3-day International Youth Interface Program organized by Women Students Forum under the auspices of Student Affairs, Guru Nanak College. University education is not complete without activities and programs to develop one's social and personal skills. A good campus life is vital for the overall personality development of the student, which is experienced by GNCNs. Women Students Forum play a vital role in nurturing the women students in particular and all the students on the whole. Bloom where you're planted. The topic explains challenges is what makes life meaningful and interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. With this small introduction, I invite our host of this session, Ms. Priyadarshini of 3rd BCom, to take over the proceedings. Dear, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Life is magic. The beauty life is a magic. The beauty of life is next, second which hides thousands of secrets. I wish every second will be wonderful in all your life. A very good evening to one and all present here. I am Priyadarshini from final year BCom General and I am excited to host this session today. I extend a warm welcome to all at the second day of International Youth Interfaith. Now, I humbly invite our principal, Dr. N.G. Raghunathan sir, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Yes. Good evening, all of you. Most beloved Vice Principal Student Affairs, Dr. LRS Kalanidhi, Women's Students Forum Coordinators, Dr. Umadevi and Ms.R.Radhika, Resource Person of the Day, Ms. Vasundhara Suresh, and my dear students and all the other colleagues who are participating here in this webinar. Yesterday, sorry, first I extend my apology. I asked the apology for the organizers yesterday. My heart and soul was in the meeting here in the webinar, but I was asked to sit in the first row. I was asked to sit in front of the Vice Chancellor yesterday. New Vice Chancellor joined the university, but in front, I thought somewhere in the corner I will sit and I can see the yesterday's inaugural function, but unfortunately I could not able to join. I extend my inability or I request sorry from Dr. Umadevi and Mrs. Radhika. And second thing is that the fascinating thing is that is how do I wonder my colleagues, how do they choose the topics? Bloom where you are planted. Bloom where you are planted wonderfully. See the topics still I have not planted, but I know a best example for blooming in the place where somebody is planted. Guru Nanak College is the best place or best example for that. So many have been blossomed, bloomed. I know many people. Likewise, it is very interesting to listen to a tool for confidence from the age of a child of 18 years old. Maybe the resource person, maybe my child's age, 18 years old. I was told that by Dr. Umadevi. I am very eager to listen to this topic. What she is going to say about within 18 years. She has got confidence to lecture among teachers and she has got such a confidence to lecture among her own students' age. So probably she is the one best example for bloom where she has been planted. The best example, I think. Maybe so today let us all travel along with Ms. Vasundhara Devi to listen to a wonderful topic, a tool for confidence. Really, I am very happy and I appreciate the Women's Forum, Students Forum coordinators, Dr. Umadevi and Mrs. Radhika, and also my congratulations to my best wishes and thanks to Dr. LRS Kalanidhi. She is filling my place whenever I am not able to be there. Madam, definitely she solves the purpose and she fills my place. And because of everybody, whenever somebody calls me, Sir Kalanidhi Madam Antanga, anala engalukku podum sir. Yeah, because truly, madam, because I cannot be in everywhere, but you are fulfilling the purpose, and really, I am amazed of your support, and also the way you encourage my colleagues and our own colleagues and our own friends. Somebody should be there. Your presence makes everyone feel very happy, comfortable, and encouraging. With these few words, I welcome all the participants and all my colleagues to this wonderful day. On behalf of Guru Nanak College, I welcome Ms. Vasundhara Suresh to deliver her lecture and to welcome to our Guru Nanak College. And let us all have a wonderful day today. Thank you, Dr. Uma, for giving me a chance to speak today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Just a small correction. We are going to have now Niharika, who will be giving her lecture, and followed by Vasundhara.
Maybe
Niharika, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem. Niharika,
anyway,
followed by Vasundhara.
That you speaker also, right?
Yes, sir. Please be there for some time to see also this time. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Right.
Over to Priyadarshini.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging speech. Now, I invite Dr. Malati, Dean Humanities, to welcome the gathering. Ma'am, please.
Yes, good evening to all. Always remember that You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Hence, you are a only person on earth who can use your fullest capacity in a proper way to get success in your life. The key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation or making proper effort. To make proper efforts or to improve our self-confidence or self-direction and self-motivation, especially during this pandemic period, our coordinators of Guru Nanak College Women's Forum, Dr. Umadevi and Radhika, have invited resource persons from Singapore and Australia. Definitely, through these two people, eminent speech, our students are going to get more benefit. They will also be placed well. For such a wonderful second day international youth interface, bloom where you're planted. I'm really happy to welcome this gathering. First and foremost, my wholehearted welcome to our Honorable Secretary and General Secretary and Correspondent, Mr. Manjeet Singh Nair, who takes sustained effort for the development of our college and for our society, wholesome society. A warm welcome to our ever-motivating and dynamic, ever-smiling Principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, sir. My hearty welcome to our Vice Principal, Dr. L.R.S. Kalanidhi, ma'am, one who always ready to extend her help at any time, to any person. I extend my sincere and pleasant welcome to our resource persons of this second day international webinar series, Ms. Vasundhara Suresh, Singapore, and Ms. Neharika Bashwa, John Monash Science School, Australia. My cordial welcome to deans of various schools, HODs of different departments, staff members of our college and other colleges, and my beloved students of our college and other colleges. Once again, my wholehearted welcome to all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivational speech. I find immense pleasure in introducing our invited speaker, Ms. Niharika Bashwa. She is currently a secondary school student but has already showcased her capabilities in my right ways. She has lived in 3 different countries since her birth and has obviously taken in the best of the 3 worlds. She is a dreamer of her own accord and puts forth her independent thinking in all her activities. Having established a prudent and unique identity of her own, Niharika continues to remain a unembellished embodiment of logic. Although she might be young, her eloquence in writing is undeniably a source of admiration for anyone familiar with her. She started expressing her individuality at a very young age and has since developed into a strong personality. At age 12, her first poem publication, The Crow's Row, appeared in the Aigil's Volume 5, Special Issue Poetry, May 2016, alongside poems written by her between ages 12 and 15, have been compiled and published as a book titled If the World is a Whisper, the Mind is a Scream, in the year 2019 at the age of 15. In January 2020, she secured special mention with the Cash Award in the English Essay Special category. These are among her major laurels, among many other smaller victories in competition. She might be a juvenile girl in appearance, but she carries mature and established thoughts as she continues to inspire others. Now, I happy and delightful in inviting Ms. Niharika to highlight on the topic of 3S, self-directing, self-motivation, and self-discipline. The floor is yours, Niharika.
Please unmute yourself, ma'am. Please unmute.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm so glad to be here with you today. And I'm going to be talking on, as was said by Priyadarshini, self-direction, self-motivation, and self-discipline. The simple things that we see in life and that we perceive today are actually filled with many complex undertones. And sometimes we see them and sometimes we don't. And as I share my screen, yeah, I'm so sure that this is a topic that is so overused, and you would hate hearing someone talk about a bland topic. And I resonate with this as a teenager myself, that I dread the moments when people give me repetitive and superficial advice on things that seem so obvious. But to make things easier and a lot simpler, I have decided to condense all of my presentation into the form of a SS snake, as I like to call it. Because I think that I can display all the information that I have today in the model of a snake. And you might be wondering, what is it that is so special about a snake? So for starters, I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with the snake's head. As you can see, this is a quite terrifying picture. And a unique characteristic of snakes is that they can eat prey a lot bigger than the size of their head. And this is due to the fact that they have a hinged jaw. But without getting into biology, what this really means is that a snake is a flexible and a versatile animal. And this quality, when reflected upon ourselves, can in fact have a tremendous impact on the things that we do and the paths that we end up taking. You see, when I was given this topic, the first thing that I did was Google it and type away to find resources and images that I could talk about. So I type in self-direction, and this is the first image that comes up. I want you to take a look at it because I'm going to tell you that this is actually not reflective of the idea of self-direction at all. In fact, I think personally that it has nothing to do with it. And it has a few things wrong with it. So I'm going to start by debunking this image right here. So we see a man, and although there are all these other pathways, there's a golden pathway, just one golden pathway, and there's a single pathway. And I cannot tell you how much more misconceived this is, because the universal truth is simply that there is no single linear golden pathway to get anywhere, and that there is no single way to do things or achieve anything. Again, there's another part of the image, and here we see a man, just a man. And you might think that self-direction, since it has the word self in it, is all about you. However, this is quite untrue. In fact, you are not the only one involved in self-direction. Self-direction is a combination of many factors. And now that I have discussed what self-direction cannot be, on my next slide, I'm showing you the definition of self-direction, which is actually directing your own life based on your understanding of others, the world around you, and understanding your own skills in order to manage learning, motivation, and behavior. And I can sum up this entire transformation using this image, because self-direction is really all about gaining control and taking the reins to your own decisions, which end up shaping your actions. Hence, you go from becoming a puppet, being controlled solely by external factors and the world around you and everything that the world puts you through, to your own puppeteer. And you start directing yourself relative to your own wants and capabilities alongside the world. Because in the end, it all comes down to the fact that you consciously choose to do something, instead of doing things just because you believe the world can push you around. It's de-victimizing yourself from the perpetrator that is a part of yourself, that thinks that everything is just a cause of circumstance, when really there are so many more things that you need to consider. So actually, what self-direction should look like is this compass. You have to notice that it can go forwards, backwards, and in a variety of directions. And interestingly, the fact that it can go backwards is something that is important that I will be covering later. And it opens you up to the fact that there are endless possibilities. There is no one way to do things, and there is no one direction that you need to choose. And I would like to emphasize once again on the fact that self-direction is actually such a non-linear process. When you direct yourself, you're not expecting to go in a straight line. In fact, self-direction is filled with obstacles. It's more like a meandering river. I would like you all to take a look at this image right here. I'm going to stop for 1 second, and I'm going to let you take a guess of what it might be. And as many of you can see, this picture is magnified and so close up that you really cannot make out what it is. So I'm going to zoom out on the next slide, and we see that it's really this beautiful looking flower. But in order to see it and admire it for what it is, you need to take a step back. Because you see, so many people are scared of taking a step back, but stepping back is not failing or causing a detriment to yourself. It's not a bad thing. It is really just directing yourself to a place where you can think, a kind of safe space. And instead of focusing on the little things that don't really seem to matter in the end, you get to see the big picture. And so when you step back and look at the big picture, which is a metaphor for your long-term goals and visions, it's important to ask yourself these questions. What is it that lies in front of me? What is this image that I'm seeing? What is this goal that I'm going to be working towards? Then you have to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Because when you choose to go down a path, you need to make sure that it's really what you want, and not that you're being pressured by someone else to do it. But at the same time, it shouldn't be a fantasy. You need to make sure that whatever image you are seeing is attainable and realistic. And it's something that's possible for you. You don't want to go for things that are out of your league. You also need to see if the image is reflective of your inner desires and capability. You might want something, but are you as good at it? So you really need to take the time to analyze all of these. And the next thing that you do need to consider is, what are my alternative pathways? And I feel like we skip out on this important aspect a lot because we are focused on a singular long-term goal. But the thing is, we really need to look at alternative pathways, which give us a better sense of security in the decisions that we make and the pathways that we ultimately choose to take. I'm sure that all of you have come across the lines of this poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And being one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. And I feel like this is reflective of what someone would be like after choosing a direction and opening yourself up to the pathways using the process that I just mentioned before. You have chosen the way that you want to go, but what is really going to make you take the first step into these woods? Why should you go? Why? So let's go back to this idea of snakes. And another fascinating thing is that they are found in all continents except Antarctica. They've become pests, pets, and even a part of mythology. And they're also worshipped all around the world. And to me, the characteristic that this shows is determination, a key factor in typically what we call success. Every day we wake up and we battle and we push against something. That something being life, the entirety of it. But in the end, it isn't just strength that allows us to move forwards and do this. The driving factor to move forward and make quantifiable change is determination and resilience. So this X factor makes us do things, and that is called self-motivation. In order for a car to keep going and do its job as a car, it needs fuel. For us, motivation is kind of the human fuel. And when you take a look at this image, you might be wondering why I didn't just write motivation and why there's actually a question mark. And this is because there's actually not a single thing that can be defined as human fuel, and it's just not compatible for everyone. Some cars run on petrol and other cars run on diesel. But for each one of us, we have a different fuel need. And human fuel is something so unique that only you yourself can be the one to find it and use it. For some people, it's family, and for others, it's money or fame. And for me personally, it has always been the sake of curiosity and learning things. In fact, it's pointless for me to talk about self-motivation because I really can't give it to you or tell you where it is going to be for you. But what I can do is help you recognize the steps where you might find it. One of the first steps in doing this is seeing, or rather observing. Usually people always tell you to look on the bright side and to let optimism drive you. But something additional you must also consider is the fact that you cannot motivate yourself with this alone. And in order to motivate yourself, you need to look at the good things, but also the bad things. So you can find your balance and make realistic goals, which once again ties in with what I said previously about being realistic and having a look at things that makes up life. And we all know that life is never made up of just good things. It's also important to recognize that your motivation alone is not going to get you anywhere. Eventually, all fuel runs out, and you need to understand that everything is a part of this cycle where you grow, you conserve whatever, it's all part of the human experience. In your quest to find your motivation, the key is in realizing that you cannot be dependent on anyone else to drive you. The human vehicle has only one key, and that key is with you. Only you have the key to yourself. And so in this case, it's important to be able to say, I am doing what I want, how I want, because of dash, and that dash being your human fuel that only you know. Because in the end, it's about gaining freedom and realizing why you want to do things. And once again, this is the cycle that I was talking about before. As we can see, we start with growth and we can conserve that growth, but eventually everything comes to an end and we reassemble our whole life. And that's just the way of life. And acknowledging this makes it so much more easier and so much more simple. Self-motivation is something that is really different for each person and truly something that is to each their own. But the barriers that come to self-motivation are actually quite common. We all face them, and it is inevitably a part of the human experience. You can't run away from it or hide from it. The first one being time. We all procrastinate. I procrastinate. I'm sure most of you can relate with this when I say that we look at our clock and we see an enemy. I say I'm going to do my homework at 5, but when I look up from my phone, it's 5:01. So then I say 6. And this keeps going on and on till the last minute. And to battle against this, I can only say that in a world where everything has so many different aspects, time is the only thing that we perceive as linear. It will always go forwards, and that's the amazing thing about it. So take advantage of the fact that you can never go backwards and use it for your own good. This is a sloth. And the sloth is the epitome of slow and lazy. But to be lazy is not to be stupid. In fact, the ideal thing is to use your laziness to your advantage. Because you are so lazy, you should be focused on getting things done quicker, but with a higher quality, so that you don't have to do it again, with reduced costs or burdens on your own part. So when you think about it, you can use laziness to be economic about your own resources and skills. Yesterday, I listened to some speakers, and if you were present yesterday, you would have noticed how many of them talked about this thing called adaptability. In order to motivate yourself, you need to feel comfortable and that you're fitting in with your environment. So to do this, you need to blend in. But blending in doesn't mean that you become completely just a part of the environment, invisible. Blending in means that you adapt to your environment and make that environment your advantage, while never letting go of your individuality, which in all cases is always going to be your friend, because that is your strength. Moving on, there's this picture with a quote, and it says, no matter how many times a snake sheds its skin, it will always be a snake. And you might think this is a very philosophical thing to say, or it has something to do with how bad people are and how people are going to have bad intentions no matter what. And while this quote may be conveying that message, my message that I'm going to say is actually a lot simpler. A snake cannot become a whale or a cat or any other animal for that matter, and it remains in one state with a single pattern of behaviors. And in this, the snake displays the quality of stability. And stability in humans is gained through something called discipline. When I say discipline, I'm almost 100% sure that the image you are thinking of is always something like this: a teacher, or maybe even an angry teacher like this. But in the end, disciplining yourself is all about giving up. As much as people will tell you to never give up, giving up is an important part of realizing things and making things simple enough for you to carry through with your tasks and achieve goals. This ties in with taking a step back and remembering that it's definitely all right to be at a different stage than others with your own life and in achieving your own goals. Giving up means letting go of your addictions and useless habits which act as barriers. It also means that you eliminate the less important things or things that you realize aren't going to get you anywhere. In order to increase your efficiency, you get rid of the things that have a low time to result ratio. Again, it means that by streamlining particular actions to reach your goals, you become more focused. And it also gives you a chance to reflect on your short-term goals and analyze whether those are as important as they seem, or if you should just drop them for your own benefit. Giving up also means that you sacrifice things. And as much as I hate this image, we need to schedule and plan and do that. And as dreaded as an idea this is, scheduling and planning really is the simplest step you can take to put things in order and to visually see where you want to go and how you're going to do it by splitting things up into small parts that are doable. But it also means that when you fail to follow through with this, when you cannot live up to your own standards, when you drop off and you are just not feeling like you can achieve what you want, which is a very human thing to do, might I mention. In the end, you cannot seek forgiveness from anyone else for your own actions than you. And it is in understanding your own personal strengths and weaknesses and knowing that you might fail, but rather than becoming distressed by it, learning more about yourself that you can get somewhere. So to keep going when you fail, it all comes down to the theory that we are molded by the rewards that we want to get. And amidst all these things that I have talked about, it's important to pride yourself. And even though people claim that having materialistic goals is a bad thing, knowing that this materialistic thing is what keeps us going makes the world so much better. And the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation is actually quite simple. Extrinsic motivation focuses on achieving something to avoid punishment, while intrinsic motivation is doing something for a reward. And as I have learned through the years, punishing yourself is much worse actually than getting no reward. And it's detrimental to your well-being, which may actually result in you never seeing your goal. Keeping this in mind, I hope that you all prioritize yourself. And even though I have talked about all these things, and I hope you can become these snakes that possess all these qualities and truly bloom where you are planted. Thank you.
That was lovely.
Push yourself because no one's going to. Thank you so much, Niharika, for your valuable speech. And you have given the beautiful view of the 3S, and you have highlighted the quote, direct your own life based on understanding of others. and this session is really more informative to us. Once again, thank you so much, Niharika. We,
Thank
the
you.
Forum, are very happy to honor a very young, dynamic speaker, Ms. Niharika, with Certificate of Appreciation. Thank you. Now, I hand over it to Dr. Umadevi, ma'am.
Ma'am, unmute.
Yeah, I'm unmuting myself. Niharika, thank you so much. That was a power-packed, if I to call it up, or a powerful, a magnificent presentation on 3S as the direction, motivation, and discipline. Your lucid speech and the interesting anecdotes which you have made it really made the session very informative and interesting, so very crisp. And as our principal sir said, you are a real model who can inspire every young mind to move further in their career and also to reach their greater heights. We, the Women Forum, are really happy and feel proud to have you amidst us as an invited speaker for the day. Thank you so much. May God bless you and you to have wishes to be achieved and win more laurels and accolades in your career. I'm sure the audience too would have been inspired by her thoughts and presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, any of our staff would like to share one or two feedback, then we move on to our beautiful next guest. Yes, madam.
Yes, Uma. I do endorse your views as well as our principal's views in appreciating this young and energetic girl from Australia, Niharika Bashwa. Hearty congratulations to you, dear young girl. I have been reading your poems, and I used to appreciate and admire your maturity in searching for something better in every poem. And it's really amazing to see a young girl like you coming out with lots of mature ideas. I think your presentation is entirely different from other presentations in the past, which we have been observing in various webinars. You started with a snake, and really your perception is entirely different. And of course, with all amazing facts about the snake, you have associated that with our life, and you have taken us very deep into your topic. And I think, as Uma ma'am said, your topic will definitely enthuse and inspire the young minds. And you are really a role model for your age group in this world of diversions. You are one such gem of a person. You are a gem of a person where you have proved yourself at this young and tender age with lots and lots of things. I think you've got miles to go in your life, and you will do more and more of this sort. Hearty congratulations to you. We really enjoyed your presentation. In just 30 minutes, you have given, as if you read more than 300 books. Like that, that's how you have put all your ideas in these 30 minutes. Thank you so much, my dear young Niharika Bashwa, and thank you, coordinators, Umadevi and Radhika ma'am, for having identified such a gem among the youth and bringing her to this limelight. Thank you all very much, and I think Vasundhara Suresh is also gearing up to share with us many such insights waiting for you, Ms. Vasundhara. Over to Dr. Umadevi.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you have any young participant who would like to share? Young participant who would like to share, and then we can go on with the teachers. The participants.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm a big fan of Niharika.
Oh, yeah, Prerana. Yes, please. Yes, please.
I saw her Sujata ma'am post when she posted that my daughter is this years old and she's publishing a book under a very renowned publisher. I was very amazed, and by I think by luck, by chance, Sujata ma'am met me in college and I asked him, ma'am, your daughter has published such a book and her word was she's God gifted. And actually today by listening to her, I can feel that she is God gifted.
She is, yeah. She
Kudos to you,
deserves.
Niharika. Kudos to you. You have a very bright future. And whenever you will come in India, just tell me. I'll come to you to take your autograph so that I can frame
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Prerna. Wonderful sharing of your thought. Thank you so much. Thank you, Niharika, once again. If you could just stay with us for some more time, we will also go on with another very, very interesting a lady
Ma'am,
waiting for.
may I talk?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Please.
Ma'am, Niharika's previous school teachers are also there, I think.
Oh, then yeah, that's what I'm welcoming people. Like if they would like to share, they
So
can.
they want
we don't
to,
know their
maybe they
names.
can say a word or two.
Yes, madam. We don't know the name, so they can just come forward.
Yeah, Miss Uma Sundaresan is there.
Yes, madam, please. Yeah, with my own name. Yeah, I'm Devi and she's Sundaresan, please. Uma Sundaresan.
Oh, I think she left.
Okay, no.
She left.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Yeah.
If they're staying back, we will definitely give them a chance
we will
to
just,
speak.
yes,
Definite.
yes.
Definite. Thank you. Yeah, we have with us a beautiful young lady, Vasundhara Suresh, and she's going to be with the topic communication, a tool for confidence. That's a great weapon, we have to call it. And she's here to deliver how a communication can really, really build confidence among us. Vasundhara, before I call her, we have Shiva Jyoti. I hand over it to her. She would introduce the young lady, and then the session will start. Shiva Jyoti.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Please.
yes, ma'am. Hello, friends. Welcome to the second session of International Youth Interface on Bloom That You Are Planted. Your success will be determined by your own confidence and fortitude. With confidence, you have won before you have started. Believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable. Yes, the highlight of today's session is about communication, a tool for self-confidence. I'm really excited to be hosting this session today. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I'm feeling very delightful and pleased to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Vasundhara Suresh, who is currently pursuing a Bachelor of Biomedical Science in La Trobe University. She has been living in Singapore for 20 years and completed her entire schooling in Singapore. During her time in primary and secondary school, she had participated in numerous speech and debate competitions and represented at secondary school for the National Tamil Debate Competition Circulum. And furthermore, she was awarded the SAJC Excellence Award by the principal for her service and contributions to the school. Upon graduating from junior college, she did an internship with T32 Dental Care, shadowing Dr. Pio. With that also, she was able to do a 4-month internship with Dr. G.S. Hong Surgical Private Limited, where she shadowed Dr. Hong to learn more about breast oncology, breast cancer. Towards this internship, she explored her talents and interest to pursue biomedical science in La Trobe University, Australia. Currently, she is the vice president of the Sports and Adventure Club at her university. Apart from her academics, she enjoys reading books, short stories, swimming, exercising, and also learning Spanish independently as well. In the further, apart from her academics, in the further, she aims to be an research. In the future, she aims to be a research scientist in the neuroscience field. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors and warmest congratulations on your achievement. And again, we are happy to invite you, ma'am. Now the platform is yours.
Hi, thank you so much for the very kind introduction. That's extremely nice of you. Thank you so much. A very good afternoon or evening to everybody. Oh, I hope everyone can hear me well. My name is Vasundhara Suresh. and I'm your speaker for this evening. I'll be talking to you guys about communication and using communication as a tool for self-confidence. Okay. Let me just show you my screen now. Okay. Hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. So once again, a very good afternoon to everybody. Thank you, first of all, Guru Nanak College for having me here. This topic is extremely close to my heart because communication is something I used to be terrible at when I was young. I used to be an extremely soft-spoken person. I did not like to engage with people a lot. And I believe I've grown over the years to be a more confident person through communication. Communication is a gem that a lot of people don't realize actually. They think communication is just talking to someone and then it's finished. But it's a tool that if you use it right, it can open up doors to many successful opportunities. So hopefully I'll be able to help you guys through this presentation. Let me start off this presentation by talking about a quote. It's a quote that has been said by an American motivational speaker. His name is Brian Tracy. The quote is as goes: communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. Now, this quote is something I followed very sincerely since I was young because it is extremely true to the point, to the dot. A lot of people think, oh, sometimes you're a confident speaker, that's natural. And if you're soft-spoken, then that's how you are. You can't do anything about it. But that's the biggest mistake. Even if you're a soft-spoken person, you have the capabilities to become an excellent communicator if you put the effort and necessary work into it. And hopefully I'll be able to give you guys some tips and tricks for that. So let me first introduce a bit about myself. As I said earlier, my name is Vasundhara Suresh. Currently, I'm pursuing the Bachelor of Biomedical Science in Lathrop University, Australia. I'm also the Vice President for Sports and Adventure Club in my university. I used to be a student counselor in my junior college days, which is in Indian system, probably high school. I have participated and won numerous prizes in Tamil and English debate competitions. I've represented my school in a national Tamil debate competition and won. I've also taken part in multiple solo speech competitions as well. So I think I have the capabilities to help you guys out with communication, and hopefully you guys take away a thing or two. So let me start off this presentation with the main question. What is communication? I've been saying about it a lot. Now, communication has many different definitions. The most vague one would probably be sharing and receiving of information via many mediums. And these mediums can include speaking, writing, reading, listening. And in the current generation, communication also includes texting, emailing, social media messages, Facebook messages. Communication is covering so much more right now with the brand new technology. And there is so much more to communication than people actually realize. Communication skills in these forms are extremely essential to daily life. It goes beyond just looking at a person and saying, hi, hello, how are you? It is actually a form of networking because the way you communicate is the way people form an impression of you. And once they have the impression of you, they will be more inclined to acquaint with you or help you be acquainted to more successful people, which will open up new successful opportunities for you. This will ensure a better future, a better job. It can be any ways. I've met a lot of people who communicated confidently and secured jobs in interviews, etc., etc. Probably I can say an example about that. If a person is looking at hiring an individual who is speaking less confidently, slouching, not making eye contact, versus another person who is being very bold and communicating effectively, confidently, the employer is most likely to hire a confident person because they are able to present and deliver themselves very well. So it's in those means that communication is extremely important to daily life. Okay, so let me introduce some situations where communication skills can be applied. Now, there are 5 situations I've listed down here. College or workplace presentations, interviews with a potential employer, speech or debate competitions, casual conversations with people networking, and negotiations with clients in workplaces. These 5 situations are the most important areas where communication is required. And I'll go through all of these one by one, so no worries. First of all, college or workplace presentations. And this is probably a very relatable situation for everyone who's listening of my age. If you're between the ages of 19 to 23 and you are in college, you will know that your professor will force you to at least do 1 or 2 group presentations or solo presentations. And you will be dreading it. Oh, I have to go stand in front of a huge crowd and my professor's assessing me. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? My best advice to all the college students out there, use all these opportunities. These opportunities are gems. These are the presentations are the place where you can develop better communication skills and it can help you for the future. College presentations or workplace presentations are extremely important also because it's not just about the content you've prepared in your slides. I can have some amount of content, but if I can't efficiently communicate the content to you, then you will not be entertained enough to listen to it. And eventually, all the content I've prepared is a waste. That is exactly why college and workplace presentations are exceptionally important. You need to be able to deliver confidently and articulate properly so that the content you have delivered reaches the audience and the audience can receive it. This is something I've noticed in my college. There were actually 2 students. One guy who had worked extremely hard in preparing top-notch slides and everything. But when he was presenting, he was a bit hunched and he was looking at cards and he was just not making eye contact with the audience and he was fumbling in his words. Because of that, half of the audience, despite the extremely good content and slides, weren't even interested in listening to him. They immediately just went back on their phones or laptops, etc. But there was a girl. She had only prepared about 60% of whatever the guy had prepared. The content is only 60%. But she delivered it so perfectly. She was making jokes in the middle. She was able to capture the attention of the audience so well that the professor was so focused on her presentation, he ended up giving her higher marks than this guy. At first, everyone was a bit shocked that she got higher grades. But it was clearly understandable, and you can see why. Because the guy wasn't able to deliver the content. And that is the most important thing. You must be able to deliver properly, fluently. So that's a situation where communication skills is very important in application. Second situation, interviews with a potential employer. I think if there are any final year students here, they will be able to understand this. I'm currently a second year student, but final year students is probably when you're finishing, you're going to graduate and people are looking to hire you. So, they'll have job fairs, employers will come, sit with you, talk about what your aspirations, whether you're a good fit for the company. They are looking to see whether you're going to be a good employee. These are very, very important. Anyone who has graduated from college will tell you first job, extremely important. Because once you get your first job, you make an impression. From there, it's only up. Once you get your first job, you get second job, da, da, da. But to get your first job itself, you must make a very good impression of yourself. Because if a potential employer is looking at you, there's 2 things he's going to be looking at. Your appearance, how you present yourself in terms of face and clothes and everything. Second thing, he's going to listen to the first word that comes out of your mouth. The first sentence, the first 5 minutes, he's going to listen to you and he's going to form an impression of you. Whether you're a potential employee, whether you're someone he feels like is not a good fit. It can be any kind of impression. But you want to form the best kind. You want to form the impression like, I am the person for you. I am the person you should hire. And for that, you should be able to be confident in your communication. You must not fumble. You must try your very best to be confident, even if it's a person you don't know. Just be casual, be calm. it's a person who might give you a job. So try to be calm, and best advice, don't fumble. If you feel like you're going to fumble, take it slow. Speak very slowly so that the words you're saying enunciate well and you don't blabber in the middle. So that's the second situation where communication skills are extremely important. Third one, speech or debate competitions. Now, so many people think speech and debate competitions is something the more younger people from between the 1st to 10th standard, these students do. And it's not much, or, it's just a competition where you can win prizes. That is probably the single biggest mistake, because speech and debate competitions are the gem where people are listening to you. When you're speaking in a speech competition, the audience doesn't just comprise of your parents or parents of other participants. There can be people with high-level backgrounds who are just sitting in the back listening to you speak. And this is something I've experienced. Not me personally, my friend actually, she did a speech in a speech competition, and she did it well. She performed well, but she won actually. But she thought, okay, that's it. I've won. But there was a person from another company. He came up and he approached her after the results of the competition, and he asked her if she would be able to deliver a speech of a different topic in his company for his employees. And she went and did that. And following that, the people were so impressed by her speech that eventually she got to talking, she networked with them, and she was able to secure an internship in that company. So essentially, that internship, currently I'm not sure whether it has turned into a full job, but for her, a speech has gotten her a part-time job, a temporary job. And that's a big thing. That's how important communication is, and people don't realize it. They think it's just hi, hello, bye, but it goes so much beyond that. And speech or debate competitions is the best place to witness that. So if you, in this college level, still get an opportunity to take part in speech or debate competitions, I highly recommend you to do it. It is an opportunity you must not miss. That's where you can develop your confidence. The more speech competitions you do, the more confident you are in facing a crowd. Because people's biggest fear is big crowds. They see large crowds and they think, oh, what am I going to say? As so many people are staring back at me, 50 different eyes. The first way to get over the crowd is by facing more crowd. You have to go through it. It's a process. So that's the third situation where communication is important. Fourth one is casual conversations with people, networking. And this is relating to my second point, networking. Networking is a tool that most adults will notice is very important. So the principal or teachers here, ma'ams here, will be able to account for it. Networking is extremely important. Your acquaintances determine your social circle and your future in a way. So many people have gotten a job through their because their friend has introduced them to someone else or something like that. And the best way to make your acquaintances is by talking with them. Nobody wants to, really be friends with someone very soft-spoken and someone who's not delivering the information properly. People want to be friends with others who are more confident in what they say, who can effectively say, this is this and that is that. That's the kind of person that people are looking for. So networking is extremely important and something that you can benefit if you communicate efficiently. My fifth point is negotiations with client in workplaces. This is relating to my second point as well. Now in workplaces, you'll notice that especially IT or banking sectors, you might have to talk to people, clients abroad who are in the US or places like that. And in those type of situations, employers are looking for employees who can communicate fluently, especially IT sectors. In IT sectors, you will notice that most of the clients are from US or UK. And US, UK clients are looking to, because their accent is different, they want to communicate fluently. And they want to engage with India employees who are able to communicate at the same level, who are able to speak fluently. So the employers naturally are also looking for that kind of person. So if you want to get into jobs like IT and banking, you must make sure your communication is at its top notch, because you will be communicating late night and you still need to sound good, confident, cheery, happy to be talking to them. So now that I've introduced to you all the situations where communication is applied, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the big question. Why is communication important? Now, to put it simply in a statement that covers all of meaning, it would be to make an impressionable statement. First impressions matter. First impressions is the most important thing here. For first impressions to be made well, and for a person to have a good impression of you, you need to communicate well. And that's where your communication plays a part. So you need to be able to deliver your information and listen. It doesn't just, communication doesn't stop at, I'm telling you something. It also happens when I'm listening to you. If someone is telling me information, listening to them is also part of communication, because using that information, you continue the conversation, and that's how it becomes a smooth flowing acquaintance. So making an impressionable statement is the main reason why communication is extremely important. Furthermore, communication is also important because it helps you develop your own self-confidence and self-esteem. A lot of people believe that if I'm not confident, then I won't be able to communicate well. What I would say is communication and confidence are intertwined. If you communicate frequently, you will become more confident. If you are a confident person naturally, you will notice that you can communicate effectively as well. Your own self-confidence and your own self-esteem can be improved heavily by communicating. And the reason why I say this is because confidence, I'm not just saying for a successful future. It's, of course, you can get a successful future out of confidence, but confidence is also more important for your own mental health, for your own personal achievements. You will only be able to do certain things in life if you believe that you can do it. And you can only believe that you will do it if you have self-confidence, if you have confidence in yourself, if you truly place hope in yourself and you know that you can do it. So that is one reason why communication is extremely important. I will dive deeper into this point later in my presentation. Now, communication is also important because it can affect your body language. Here is something you can notice. If you have any friends who are generally soft-spoken, watch how they are. Their body language is entirely different from a confident person. A person who isn't really a very strong communicator, who is a bit fearful, they'll have a slouch position. Their eyes won't really look into your eyes for more than 3 seconds. They will just barely look and then they look away, kind of thing. But a confident person will be able to look you in the eye and say hi, hello for more than about 10-20 seconds for as long as they want. And they'll be more upright and they'll be ready to face you with a lot of hand impressions, probably like what I'm doing right now. And body language is important in the way the person perceives you. I would rather, if I'm making a choice to either be friends with someone who is like this or like this, I would probably choose a person who is more upright because they look better and they look more confident in themselves. My last point, capturing attention of listeners helps to open up countless opportunities for a more successful future. That's basically what I said earlier. So sometimes when you're talking in speech competitions, if you're lucky, you might encounter a person with a successful background who's willing to give you the same opportunities. This, I'm not saying will happen for everyone, but it is a possibility. And as long as it's a possibility, I highly recommend that you take it. You use every opportunity possible to be your best self, put your best self out there so that you can open up countless doors for yourself. Now, as I think Shiva Jyoti said earlier, I've been in Singapore. I was born and bred in Singapore. I've been in Singapore for about 20 years now. And all my schooling was done here entirely. I'm not extremely familiar with the Indian education system. So I'll be able to introduce to you how the Singapore education system helped me develop my communication skills. And teachers or students, if you feel like some of these things can be inculcated into your own system or college system as well, I highly recommend that you suggest it to your superiors or someone, if possible, because If it's helping the students become better people, why not? So for the Singapore education system, they inculcate communication skills from a very, very young age, from as young as first standard. So from first standard to sixth standard, which is primary school, the teachers actually have allotted time slots before lessons for students to bring in their own English storybooks and have English reading sessions. So they will read their books, and then some of the students will be called up randomly to talk about these things that they've read in the books, share their points, and not just about the content in the storybooks. It's about the content and what they learned from the content. What are their opinions? Did they like the book? Did they not like it? I feel sad, I feel happy, things like that. Of course, with age growing up, the vocabulary is also expected to be better. So, I mean, you can't at 7th standard come and say, I was sad, I was happy. You have to use more bigger vocabulary. But those are the kind of things that the teachers kind of force the students to do. Nowadays, saying force is like a negative word, but I think in this presentation, I use it because forcing here is trying to challenge yourself above and beyond your comfort zone. And for communication, that's extremely important. You must push yourself beyond your own comfort zone so that you can excel as a person. Now, the second thing that teachers encourage students to do heavily is take part in communication courses to develop oral skills. I had tons of this. I was asked to be a part of the Toastmasters course, and this company called A-Star, which specializes in speech therapy. They have to come in and give you courses about confidence speeches, and they did various exercises. Like they help you enunciate. They do tongue twisters like Betty butter, better butter to make the bitter butter, better butter, that kind of tongue twisters. And then they help you with group presentations. They don't just put you in front and say, talk. It's more of developing it slowly. Slowly they'll be like, okay, now you introduce it to 10 people first. Okay, now you're feeling comfortable. Let's push you up to talking to about 20 people. That kind of slow progressive courses. And those courses helped me a lot because when I was young, I was extremely fearful. I stammered a lot. I fumbled a lot. I would cry at the thought of going up and talking in front of a crowd. It was not my comfort zone at all. So these kind of communication courses, I learned a lot from it because I was able to do it with friends and classmates, and doing it together with everybody made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only one dying. My friends are also in this. So I learned from all of that, and I was able to become a better communicator. Now, the third thing that the education system does is mandatory inclusion of oral communication as part of the examination. This, I'm not sure if the current India system, education system does it, but if it does, it's amazing. If it doesn't, then I unfortunately can't help out there, but this is something that works for me because it is part of a mandatory part of our examinations. It takes like a 30% weightage in our overall final exam marks. So you have to be able to read a paragraph properly with proper spacings, commas, and all that. And you must also look at videos, and you have to talk about the videos for 5 minutes. And then there'll be impromptu questions that you have to be able to answer on the spot. So it's not entirely scripted like things. It's not something you can prepare for. The only way you can prepare for oral communication exams is by being more well-read, by reading a lot of current world affair things, watch the news regularly, listen to news readers a lot, and talk to fellow friends and parents. Talk to your family. Family is the one you're most comfortable with. Then talk to your parents and talk in English, talk in Tamil, whichever language that you are feeling like you're lagging behind in, talk in that language and be more confident. Train yourself to be more confident. Now, the fourth point is courses to develop writing and typing skills for email purposes. Now, this is something I want to encourage to everybody because I've noticed that in the younger generation, my sister is 6 years younger, and she is in her time, all they're doing is mostly texting on the phone. I do it too, of course. I'm a teenager, but they do it more frequently, and their communication is heavily reliant on WhatsApp messages. WhatsApping teachers, WhatsApping friends and all that. Anyone who is a little bit older than I am, for sure, will know that communication used to be, if you're communicating with teachers and all that, you used to be emailing your teachers, dear ma'am, dear sir, and you'll have a panic mode because you don't know how to write, but you have learned all that. I noticed that with the younger generation, they don't really have that kind of courses anymore, where they have to learn how to type a proper formal email to their professors or to teachers. If you get the opportunity to learn this, please use it well, because this is something that's extremely important, and it can break or make your sometimes like your relationship with your employer. Because these type of things, learning how to write a formal email, this form of communication is heavily used in workplaces. And in workplaces, the employers look at how your emails are phrased. Because in emails they can't see face to face; they only see your words, and your words must speak for the tone that you're using in your mind. Sometimes people can have a respectful tone that they're trying to portray in their minds, but in the email it sounds rude and it sounds harsh. So learning how to type a formal email will help you ensure that you're still maintaining a respectful communication with your employer, that you're not being too jovial, but you're not being too rude and harsh, casual as well. So this is extremely important. Email purposes. If you don't know right now, it's available on YouTube as well. You can go and learn how to write a proper email, how to be formal in your speech and all that. Now, the last one is in this slide is organizing and promoting communication-related competitions. My primary and secondary school, basically in India Standard, 1st to 10th Standard, they organized a lot of speech competitions. Annual day, student day, college day. They'll have speech competitions where you have to go up and you have to talk about a certain topic. Sometimes it can be about the school. Sometimes it can be about a general public or some public-related topic. These kind of things also helped me a lot because I was forced into it, and I became a better person because of it. I know some people are unable to, they don't like being forced. And for these people, I would just sincerely request you to try to push yourself beyond the comfort zone. Because if you're in your comfort zone, you will be stuck to whatever you are fine with. You will never want to go challenge yourself and say, I want to try that. I'm here, I want to go there. You will never feel that. You will just be thinking, I'm here, this is fine. This is a normal level to be in. And communication requires you to challenge yourself, to go beyond and say, okay, I'm going to try my best. I hate talking to a crowd of 50 people, but I'm going to try and talk to them. I need to do it. These kind of communication-related competitions help to encourage that more in students. So teachers, if you're here, I highly encourage you to do more of these speech competitions. You can even do it weekly, because weekly will help students, be on their toes. They'll constantly be researching and getting prepared for the communication or speeches. And the more speeches you do, the more confident you'll get. I can account for that statement. Oh, one more thing, just related to the competitions. If possible, take part in impromptu competitions. Impromptu means non-scripted competitions. They don't tell you about the title until 5 minutes before the competition itself. I took part in few of those competitions and I've won about 3. So those kind of competitions are extremely good in making sure you are well read. You're a person of knowledge, that you have read up on your global affairs and all that. This was Tamil, by the way. In Tamil, we have a Tamil center here, and they organized impromptu competitions where they just give you a topic about the current political situation or the current climate change issues. And you would have to talk about that for 10 minutes. You have to just think on top of your head and deliver it confidently. So it's a test of content and communication, and it's extremely useful for students who want to not just be scripted. They don't want to be held by a script. They want to just talk freely. This is an amazing competition for students like that. So teachers, I highly encourage you to organize this with students as well. Okay, so more things that the education system has done for us is making leadership positions available. Leadership positions, based on what I introduced myself, I'm a current vice president in Sports and Adventure Club, and I used to be a student counselor in junior college. Student counselor means it's like student prefect, like a head prefect kind of thing. Now, leadership positions is an excellent opportunity for communication. So if you ever find yourself the opportunity to be the president of some club and society, or like some debate club or something like that, highly recommend you to take it up, because that is the place where you will first encounter communication, and communication in all forms. As a leader, you will not only be communicating with the people that's working under you in your club, you'll be communicating with your teachers, fellow colleagues, fellow students in other clubs, maybe even the principal of your college, if you're presenting something huge and representing your school. So in those kind of situations, communication is great, and leadership positions help to ensure that. So yeah, that's what I would once again say. If you have a leadership position available, please take it up. Now, the rest of the points are more based on the earlier points. Teachers encourage soft-spoken students to lead projects or group presentations. I was a victim of this when I was in about primary 4. There was a group presentation going on. And we were doing a group project, and one person has to represent the group and come and present your project. Initially, someone else was supposed to go, but my teacher forced me to go up and do it. And at that point, I was extremely soft-spoken, but I did it. I was nervous while I was doing it. I made a couple of mistakes, but it was my first taste of talking to people and getting over that fear of crowd. So those are some kind of things that the teachers here are expected to do, and it's something that they must do. They don't want to just listen to talkative students present. They want to listen to people who don't talk much present. Organizing end-of-year camps and events that force students to express opinions and communicate more effectively. Pretty much the same thing as the competitions. Sometimes they have these end-of-year camps and courses. These camps have the speech courses where they force people to talk about how they are feeling and communicate more fluently. The last point is the one I was speaking about way earlier. Promotes active listening by teaching students to watch the news and jot down notes. This phrase, watch the news and jot down notes from it, is a phrase that every teacher of mine has told me. And I think my parents will be able to account for it, because they've heard the teachers telling them in parents-teacher meeting as well. Watching the news is extremely important. And I will be the first to admit, I used to not watch the news or read the news at all. And that's something that happens with the younger generations. You don't, when you're young, you're having fun, you don't want to listen to the news, learn about the current world affairs and all that. But as a person who is now in college and doing so much research in science, I highly recommend you to do it, because these things will come in handy. Even if it's a casual conversation or a speech or impromptu speech, or it will come handy in any kind of other situations as well. Watching the news is extremely important. And jotting down notes, you don't have to write down every single thing that the news says, but you can take down some important events that has happened, like 2016, the year Trump became president, or things like that. And you take note of those, and you can inculcate those into the speeches. Because when you're presenting to a crowd, people are more inclined to listen to you if they are hearing something that is more relatable to them. And current world affairs is the most relatable thing to them. So highly encourage you to listen to news, or if you're unable to watch the news on television, you can do what I do. I have BBC, CNN downloaded on my phone every morning. I also have my local news. Over here, it's called the Straits Times. I have that downloaded. Every morning, I get notifications of the common world affairs, and I take about 5 minutes to read. My commute to school would be about 1 hour. So in that 1 hour, I'll be reading news of the day, anything that can help me just learn a little bit more about this world we live in. Okay, so this is just showing you the screenshot of the 21st century competencies, which is something that the Singapore education system has developed. It's a It's kind of a three-tier approach for a more successful Singapore. And the Ministry of Education demands that students have to learn, like whatever they learn must cover all these three aspects: civic literacy, global awareness, critical and inventive thinking, and information and communication skills. So what I wanted to point out here is the fact that communication skills is one of the most important components of the government's plan. This kind of shows you how important communication skills is. And the 4 points there basically sum up the main aim of this: openness, management of information, responsible use of information, communicating effectively. You shouldn't just learn information, you must learn to deliver it responsibly. Don't be biased in your statements, take a neutral stand and deliver the information neutrally in a fluent, effective manner. And so this is how the Ministry of Education, Singapore, inculcates communication skills into their curriculum for all students. And this is spanning from primary school students all the way to college. College is the last year of schooling. After that, it's just work. So beyond that, government can't help you anymore. You have to help yourself. Okay, next. How was my communication skills developed? These are just some of the things I did. So first, English speaking courses. English speaking courses, I didn't like this as much because I had Tamil speaking courses and I loved Tamil speaking courses because I was able to make Tamil jokes with my friends and I was more comfortable. Tamil is our language. We are able to have fun, and even the speeches can be just out of the top of my head, and it can be very fluently said. But English, I was having a bit of trouble when I was young because I didn't know what is the right vocabulary to use. I wanted to sound mature in my speeches, but I didn't know how to do that. And English speaking courses helped me out with that. A lady actually, she taught me. She was my main facilitator for these English speaking courses. And an important trick that she taught me, especially when doing English speaking courses, is to always imagine that the crowd is just not there, or the crowd is like a bunch of butterflies. They are just things that are there, inanimate things, but they don't matter. That is the first step to overcoming your fear, because I had a huge fear of speaking, and that's how I overcame it. Imagine the crowd as an inanimate object, as people because these people, they are not going to be the ones determining how good your speech is. Your speech is going to be determined how good it is by maybe a few judges, and mostly by yourself. You must believe that speech was good in order for it to be good. So imagine that the crowd is blank and there's no crowd at all, and talk freely. Talk openly, be calm, never panic. Try your best to stay as calm as possible when you deliver. So that's the main trick she taught me, and it has helped me till today, till now. It's the trick I'm using while talking to everybody today. Second thing, joining debate clubs. Over here in Singapore, I was able to I was able to be a part of Model United Nations, which is United Nations, if you know it, is basically a huge organization where representatives of each country come in to discuss the major issues like climate change, etc., etc. And they were able to make a recreational form of United Nations in our school. But of course, it's each person is kind of doing their own club kind of thing. It's not representing a country. And these kind of events is probably what helped me be more confident, because I was able to bring out my global knowledge. I was able to talk about different things happening in different countries, and I was able to present it to different crowds. And it's not just presenting, it's more of a debate where I put out a point and some other person refutes me, says, no, your point is wrong. These kind of situations help me be better in communication. So if you're able to join a debate club in your school or in your vicinity, I highly recommend you do it. It's kind of like a Toastmasters club kind of thing. It will help you a lot. And over here, I've also mentioned class presentations. I think I've spoken quite a bit about it. So class presentations in general, you use PowerPoints or pictures as a guide. try to use as less information as possible and deliver most of your information verbally, so that people's attention will not be on the slide, but it will be on you. Next, speech competitions, debate competitions. I've been part of English and Tamil speech and debate competitions. I've represented my secondary school in a national Tamil debate competition. These were similar to the debate clubs. Debate clubs gave me a platform to kind of get ready for the real event, the real debate. And these debate competitions were my real debate, where I was able to talk back to opponent, fight on their points, and be a bit more hardcore in my speech. So speech and debate competitions are extremely useful tool for me to develop my communication skills. Writing short stories. This is something I highly encourage if you haven't done it before. Short stories can be as simple as talking about, sometimes you can have some dreams and you want to talk about that. Or it can be a horror short story, or just something meaningful, like something you encountered along the road, something that you're passionate about. These short stories, write it, keep it within about 250 to 500 words, and show it to your professors or teachers so that they can assess these skills and give you feedback on it. Why these are important? Because in some situations, in college especially, you will be expected to write essays. I've been writing tons of essays. I'm only in second year. I've written too many essays to count. And in these essays, you're expected to elaborate on points very clearly, and with you have to make references to other books and etc. And a lot of people find trouble doing that. They don't know how to write. They don't know how to start or where to finish. I believe writing short stories can be something that helps you a lot, especially in your college days, if you're writing essays. You can look for this online. There are many websites, National Writing Council or something like that. These companies and councils, they will just put out a short story topic every month, and they'll take submissions for it. So you can write a short story within that month and you can submit it in. Sometimes you may win, sometimes you may not, but that all just depends on, it just begins with your trying. It's not a matter of winning or losing. It's about whether you try enough for it or not. Next, listening to newsreaders talk. This is basically what I said earlier, listening and watching the news. I won't elaborate on this too much. I've clearly said it before. Listening to newsreaders talk is extremely good. You can take on new points, jot it down, and use it whenever you feel is appropriate. Watching documentaries regularly. I do this very often. I don't know if it's a sign that I've outgrown my teenage years, or it's a sign that I'm maturing too quickly. But I've been watching a lot of these history documentaries, the Russian Revolution and the World War II documentaries. And I actually like the way that these people who talk in the documentaries, how they deliver the information. Because they do it in such a good tone and such a fluent way without pausing or stammering that it captures my attention truly, and I can sit down there and listen to these documentaries for 1 hour, 2 hours consistently. If you ever watch a documentary and you wonder how you can sit down there and do it, two things. The visuals is very good, and the person who's delivering or narrating is extremely good. So watch how the narrators speak, take notes of their tone, their punctuations, how they articulate the words, and use that when you are delivering the same thing. Making my own oral notes. This is something that I practiced when I was young. Because when I was young, once I got past the fear of speaking, I started thinking, okay, now I've conquered my fear of speaking in front of large crowds. Next, I want to be the best speaker possible. And being the best speaker possible comes with a lot of things. You know, you have to think about the way you pronounce your words, the way you, the tone in which you speak, the method in which you deliver your information. You can't just start off with hello, hi, good morning, and all that kind of thing. Sometimes you can do it in an interesting way with a short, personal anecdote, or sometimes you can do with a quote, or etc. etc. There are many ways to present. So these type of things I wanted to inculcate in myself and be a better communicator, better speaker. And I realized I was not able to find out what I was doing wrong until I recorded myself. And I've got a lot of videos of myself now in my phone. Basically, just take a video of yourself while you're talking and record it. You don't even have to, it doesn't have to be a very long speech. It can be a short speech, but just record yourself and then look back on those videos and stop once in a while and assess how you're doing. Think about the little hand actions you're doing that you don't like. And if you feel like your hands are too stiff, then open up yourself more. If you feel like your face is too glum, then widen your facial expressions more. If you feel like you're slouching too much, be upright and make little notes like that. And write it down. If you feel like these things are recurring in many of your speeches, write it down and make a personal note of it, so that before you go up on stage or before you're presenting or before you're doing a workplace presentation to your colleagues, you can just be like, okay, I usually slouch. I shouldn't slouch anymore. I should be a bit more aware of my body language. Now, the fourth point here, discuss a new current topic for 5 minutes. Sorry, I repeated the word discuss there. Discuss a new current topic for 5 minutes. This is extremely good if you just want to have a casual conversation with friends. And this is how I prepared for my English oral communication. Get your friends, force your friends to sit with you, sit down there and talk about some current thing. Just pull your friend and say, hey, let's talk about what happened yesterday. There were floods. There was a hurricane. What do you think happened? Like, why? How do you think this will affect the public? And what do you think we as other non-affected members can do to help the public? That kind of things. Force yourself to ask different questions from different angles and cover many different topics so that you are well-read in that aspect. Being well-read is extremely important because you don't know when these information will come in handy, especially when you're trying to talk to someone who's more of a successful background. If you're talking to an executive or a CFO and you want to just talk to them about current world affairs, this is when all the things you've watched in the news, you can pile down here. Don't vomit everything out, but just be, engage with them in a slow, calm manner and show that you are well-read, show that you have general knowledge and you can use it responsibly. Now, the fifth point is what I've said a couple of times earlier, actively participate in classroom discussions. Try to raise up your hand, answer questions. It will make you look like a nerd. It will make you look like someone who is a teacher's pet, but much rather you be more teacher's pet now and, answering more questions frequently now than not speaking at all and just earning the reputation of being extremely soft-spoken. Then you're just wasting the impression you have upon yourself while you can be better. Now, this using my communication skills in wider audiences. This is something that related to leadership. Taking on leadership roles allowed me to talk to wider audiences. And I've said it before, you're not just talking to one person, you're talking to many different parties. And when you're talking to these parties, you're talking in different tones. When it's with your friends, you're talking friendly. When you're talking to subordinates or people working for you, you're talking in a slightly more professional tone. When you're talking to teachers, you talk extremely respectfully. When you're talking to principal who's giving you the budget to finance your clubs and activities, you talk extremely professionally. So these kind of different parties help you sort out the tones in different situations. You learn to talk differently to different people, and that's why leadership skills is something I very heavily took on since I was in 10th standard. My parents also kind of encouraged me there because they thought that I would, since I am becoming a more confident person with leadership skills, I can be even better for the future. And that's something I would now say to you. If you can be a leader, be a leader. Present in front of a larger audience, don't be afraid. The audience can be as big as about 100, 200 people. If you have the confidence, you can do it. Now that I've talked about all these things, about how I did it, how my country's educational system does it and everything, now it comes down to how can you develop your communication skills. There are many ways where you can develop your communication skills. First things first, constantly read books. With me right now, I've got about 4 books above my shelf. And I always make it a point to have books. If you don't have physical books, try to get virtual books that you can read online. There are common sites like Wattpad and all, and you can refer to sites where you can download books and just keep it on your tablet or your computer and read whenever you're free. I know a lot of college students now use their laptop, so you might as well just download a virtual book and read it. Books are extremely important. Learning vocabulary, learning adjectives, learning sentence structures, everything you can get it from books. Books is priority. For me, I'm a book lover, so I would recommend this tip to everybody. Constantly read books. Second thing, write English essays. Similar to writing short stories, but English essays are more 1,000, 2,000 words. So look for online writing competitions. Engage yourself in these competitions. Listen to the topics. If you feel like you don't know what to write about the topic, go to your professors. Your professors will definitely be able to help you in sorting out like information to write regarding the topic. For sure, your professors will be able to help you out. So use those information, go to the library, research a bit, and submit these English essays. As I said earlier, sometimes you will win, sometimes you won't, but at least you tried. That's the first step. Reading newspapers. I've said this about 10 times now. I'll say it for the 11th time. Read newspapers. Read news, watch news, download apps, read while you're commuting, and learn as much global knowledge as much as possible. And the second point to there is the same. Listening to English news or documentaries, take note of new vocabulary. Talk to family and friends in English. This is something that I've noticed a lot of people don't do. And I'm guilty of it as well. Because I'm a Telugu, Tamil speaking person. At home, when I'm with my family, I speak in Telugu, I speak in Tamil very frequently. And I don't engage in English a lot. I only speak in English to my sister. My sister's the only one who talks to me in English, so I speak in English back to her. But the rest of my family, I speak in Telugu, Tamil. I'm not saying that's wrong to speak in your native language. Not wrong at all. But in this scenario where English is such a global language and you need to know English and speak English fluently everywhere, you can allot about 5 to 10 minutes to talk to your family and friends fluently in English. Just talk to them regularly. Talk to them about what happened in your day, how your day went, how school went, all those type of things. And once you get comfortable with a small intimate group, you will notice that you're becoming more confident to speak to outer unknown people as well. And talking to family and friends is the stepping stone for that. Now, practicing active listening skills. I've said that earlier. Forcing yourself to participate in activities that demand you to be outspoken. Force yourself. Force yourself to be a part of speech competitions and all. Sure, it might not be the most ideal for you, but once you start doing it, you will become more confident. I'm telling you once again, the more speech competitions or speeches you do, the more confident you get. Third thing, having discussions with teachers on current world affairs as much as possible. This is similar to talking to friends and family, but talk to teachers. This is dependent. Sometimes your teachers are friendly. If your teachers are more friendly, then approach them comfortably and talk to them. Let them know, can I talk to you in English for about 5 minutes regarding this? Then if they are willing to hear you out, why not? Go ahead, do it. If they are not willing to hear you out, then it's fine. Just talk to friends and family. Signing up for leadership positions in your respective college. I've mentioned that. You can basically sign up for leadership, president, vice president, administrative position. Just take up something and fully give yourself in it. Give your 100%. Don't just take it up but then back out because you feel like you're not ready. Force yourself to be ready. It's a bit of a challenge, but you can get through it. Don't be afraid to assert your opinion. This comes in terms with confidence, and this is something that can be applied in workplaces. In a lot of workplaces, when you're working, sometimes you will have opinions, but you're afraid to mention it because you're not being very confident. You can communicate, but you're not confident to say what you want to say. Now, I highly recommend that you just confidently say it, but respectfully say it. Say it in a way that captures their attention so that they'll be like, okay, she's giving new opinions and she said it in a respectful manner. I can take up on it and I'm willing to listen more. Don't be afraid to state your opinion just because you feel like it might not be the right thing. Think it through and say it respectfully. I promise you it will end up in a very good result for you in your workplace. Okay, this is just about kind of the process of how forcing yourself to take part in more speech competitions is going to help you. So I've been telling you to force yourself. I don't want this to sound like I'm torturing you, but forcing yourself or challenging yourself to take part in more speech competitions gives you more experience. More experience you have helps you develop confidence. It's how it started out with me. I started off with a crowd of 10 people in my class. Once I started off with 10 people in my class, I started doing more speech courses. And in speech courses, there were 20 people, 30 people. And then speech competitions, you have 40, 50 people. National debate competitions, you have about 100 people. People from different government sectors, people sitting in to listen to you, parents and friends of other participants and all that. And once you have 200, 300 people, slowly your audience gets bigger, and soon you'll be able to do a smooth and impressionable presentation to friends, colleagues, and employers. Okay, so I'm going to finish soon. Don't worry. I hope I'm not droning on too much. How does good communication skills build confidence? It changes the way you deliver your word. The change is observable in your body language, eye contact, assertiveness of your tone, expressions on your face, etc., etc. These changes with experience will make you more confident, will make you more driven to talk to a crowd. It will make you feel like, okay, now I'm ready. I'm better, I'm good, I believe in myself, I can deliver this information. This is exactly why good communication skills is important. With good communication skills, you become more confident. So this is just something that I found on the internet. Can look at the second paragraph. Among the top traits that employers look for when hiring or promoting a candidate are interpersonal skills, professionalism, and enthusiasm, all byproducts of confidence. Interpersonal skills is what is basically another word for communication. Your interpersonal skills, the way you present yourself, and the cheeriness you have is going to be all byproducts of the confidence you have. And this is something that employers highly look for when they are hiring or promoting a candidate to a higher position. So, and employers benefit from having good employees like that. So that's exactly why they'll hire you. And that's why I'm saying good communication skills build confidence. Building confidence eventually opens up countless of successful opportunities for you. So that marks the end of my presentation. I hope I have taught you guys some things from my own experience. I've given you some tips. Hopefully you can you use these things and help yourselves. But if there are any questions for me, please let me know. I think one of the ma'ams might pass on my email. You can definitely email them or email me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions. Thank you so much for having me.
That was nice. Very nice. Sivajyoti?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your motivational and inspiring speech on communication, ma'am. How to develop our communication, and you also shared some techniques and ways and how to improve our communication, which is an important tool for self-confidence. Thank you for the wonderful session, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, here we have.
On behalf of
Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of Women Students Forum, Guru Nanak College, we would like to honor Ms. Vasundhara Suresh with the certificate of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru Nanak College, for having me. It's been a huge opportunity, and I'm more than happy to be here today.
Now I invite Dr. Umadevi ma'am to give feedback and vote of thanks. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Sivajyoti. Vasundhara, this, the way you have presented, I will call it as a delightful presentation on how communication plays a very important role in building one's self-confidence. And I believe that everywhere in the world and in every field, as you mentioned, the paramount skill for both personal and business success is communication. And this is a example that you were so confident in delivering, one after the other, so much of examples and your own experience. That really made the session very interesting. Thank you so much once again. God bless you, and our best wishes to achieve your dreams. And the audience definitely would have been imbibed the importance of communication by your inspiring thoughts and presentation. So I have few questions which are being posted in the chat box. One or two, we'll just take it up.
Okay, sure.
So here we have from Mr. Venkateshwarlu. we are conditioned into communicating in a way that our views are accepted by others. How can we liberate from this kind of feeling?
Okay, so this is a common feeling that's being shared by a lot of people, and I feel it too. Sometimes I feel like I have different views, but I have to speak for the views of the public, and because it's only a certain kind of views that are being accepted by the public. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I would say for that is try to insert your opinion in a way that's phrased. You have to phrase it smartly. That's what I would say. You don't want to just outright go and say your view is wrong, my view is correct. You want to phrase it in a way where I agree with what you say, but think about it from this perspective, and then you insert your perspective. The way you say it changes everything. You're saying the same thing. You're saying my opinion is different from yours, but the way you say it changes the entire conversation. Once you start humanizing it and making it more different perspective kind of thing, people will start saying, oh, I didn't see it from this way. I didn't see it from this angle. Okay, maybe it can be like this. So then you'll start opening up the conversation yourself. You're not making the public follow only one view. You're opening up with your own view as well. So never feel like I'm restricted to this only.
Correct. Yeah, we have one more from Deepak Raj. Actually, he said when it comes to the accent, which is more advisable whether it's going to be British or American, because we've been Indians, we mix up both the accents. Okay. Maybe he's asking us to how to overcome, or is that right or wrong? That's a nice question.
That's a great question. First of all, don't feel pressured to follow any accent. Don't feel pressured like if you have US clients or something, I have to be American in my accent or anything. Just be yourself. Be your natural self. The way you present yourself in a calm and confident manner will speak for you. You don't have to follow any accent. But if you feel like I really want to, then maybe the most standard one would be an American accent. Just don't enunciate too much on the words. Be a bit more lighter. That's how they do the American accent. But my best advice is be yourself, because there's no better accent than yours. Our accent is the best, and just be comfortable with how you are. Because if you force yourself to be some other accent, then the discomfort will show, and once the discomfort shows, it affects the way you're delivering your information. So that will just end up being a problem. Yeah, be yourself, be comfortable.
Thank you. That's nice. Hope I've just picked up only a few questions, and you have got a lot of appreciation just pouring up for both of you for having made a wonderful presentation. Everyone has enjoyed it. I would like some of the staff members or the deans to also come up with some of the feedback, both with relating to Neharika and Vasundhara. I can invite, we have Nujan ma'am, Rama ma'am. Okay, Rama ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
Vasundhara, ma'am. It was really wonderful. It was really wonderful listening to you. I think really the students would have been motivated, and from now we expect them to participate in all the competitions and common platforms which we open up for them. As you say, we actually force them to, we do a lot of activities and we do a lot of presentation. Even regularly online classes, we do make them present in the classes so that they overcome this fear, stage fear. And as you say, this point was quite appealing for me. Increasing the crowd from 10 to 20 to 30. Initially, they can be made to present before 10 members. Then the number can be increased to 20, 30, so that they are stage fear also could be overcome in a more better way. Thanks for that clue. That was really well taken, ma'am. Thank you very much. It's really awesome and really motivational. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to share our.
Thank you, Rama ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, I invite Nujan ma'am, Dr. Nujan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam, please.
Yeah, that was all.
Dean of Science, madam, please.
Yeah, Vasundhara, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, the tips given definitely very helpful. Of the students who are listening, very motivated, and even will change of our syllabus, right? We will try to include whatever you have given the tips, right? See, as science students, even they feel a little bit shy and they don't open up. So we have to try hard. So we will be giving some presentation. So definitely the ideas, the whatever hints you have given, tips, definitely this will be helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much for motivating the students, and even we have got motivated from whatever you have said. Thank you a lot. Thank you, ma'am.
It was my pleasure.
Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Rojan, ma'am. We have Revati, madam. Dr. Revati.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, madam. She's our ED cell coordinator. Yes, madam. Please, madam.
It's really a very eye-opener session. We are really very happy to it. It's a wonderful session. Congratulations and keep going to it, ma'am. Vasundhara and Neharika, both of you.
Lovely. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
So much for the organizers.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. I request Radhika ma'am, if you can just find out some of other teachers or students who would like to come forward to share.
Yes.
We are most welcome.
Kendar, are you there? You would like to share your views? Kendar, yeah, I think Kendar will, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm there.
Yes,
please. It was really such an eye opener, ma'am. Actually, this is being a cliche between students, like facing crowd is such a very big phobia for them. You know, according to the census, like 76% of the people face that. Like we don't even know that we have that phobia, and it was such an eye opener to. It's like they tell, like, right, face the fear and just fight the fear. Same way, you just need to face the crowd to overcome that fear. So it was really such an pathbreaker and eye opener. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Kendra. And I was so delighted when she said, you know, the Tamil was her passion. Like she has been taken over more with the language of Tamil. We would like to hear even one or two, you know, lines from you from Tamil. People also be more how you actually have taken up. That's really great.
இல்லைங்க எப்படின்னா சின்ன வயசுல இருந்து தமிழ் பேசி ரொம்ப பழக்கமாயிடுச்சு இல்லையா? எல்லாருக்குமே தமிழ் பேசி ரொம்ப பழக்கமாயிடுச்சு. அப்பா, அம்மா, தாத்தா, பாட்டி எல்லாரும் கூட. வந்துட்டு தமிழ்ல வந்து டிவைட் பண்ணணும். நான் வாதாடுறேன், ஆணித்தரமாக கூறுகிறேன் அப்படின்னா அப்படியே எல்லாம் ஆடி போயிடுறாங்க. அது ஒரு வேற ஃபீலிங்கா இருக்கு. இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசணும்னா ஓ ஹாய் ஹலோ அப்படின்னு வேற பீட்டர் ஃபேமிலிக்கு போற மாதிரி இருக்கு. ஸோ அப்கோர்ஸ் தமிழ்ல பேசுறதா எப்பவுமே வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்கும். இங்கிலீஷ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் தான், வேற மொழி. ஆனா அதையும் கத்துக்கலாம். அது வந்துட்டு வேற மொழிங்கிறதால நம்ம பயப்பட வேண்டியது இல்லை. எல்லாம் just learning. We can learn. If we learn and we master it, we can become excellent in it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Sunil Kumar. Number Sunil Kumar.
Yeah, Sunil. Kalani ma'am is there? Yes, madam. Madam, please.
Kalani ma'am.
Kalani ma'am.
Words about Vasundhara, congratulations to you for your spontaneous flow of powerful feelings and emotions. I recall words saying, and your presentation is awesome. In the sense, you have given that takeaway, that is, one has to force oneself to communicate in English. That's really interesting, and without experience, we come to know that everybody wants to speak in English, but they don't come forward. Okay, they should force themselves to speak. See, simply sitting in a place and looking at somebody, you know, with awe, that is no good. Okay, actually, we have to plunge deep into the ocean, then, you know, swim and learn. Okay, you speak with mistakes, no harm, but then you have to speak fluently. Practice every day. And I too, as you said in the beginning, this is your cup of tea, like the topic on communication, because you are well versed. And towards the end, I think you could speak a few words in Tamil, which are also really, you know, it comes from your heart. So your emotions, your facial gestures, you're full of life when you speak in Tamil. And in English also the same thing. Usually, in India, I'm a Tamil speaking person basically. So when I speak English, my English looks like Tamil. But your English, I mean, your Tamil looks like English accent. Okay. the reverse way of influence. That's one thing. And I mean, I too have taken some pics of your presentation, like the 21st century skills from your Singaporean way of learning. Really, I think you are a forerunner in just bringing out the latest curriculum. And definitely we will also incorporate in our own, because now we are in an autonomous college and we got freedom to introduce all these. So we just learn and gather lots of information from people like you, and especially from a young learner, okay, who is just out of the garden. Right? Really, it's amazing. So you are full of fragrance. Okay, we are, flowers kept in the fridge, madri nangalla. Okay. You are all, fresh flowers. Another one, spontaneous, full of power packed presentation. Because speaking from your own experience and how to groom yourself. I think today we got, in the beginning, I saw more than 100 people listening in the Google Meet itself. And I think for such people, you are a role model. You are because now you சொன்னாலுமே உங்களை மாதிரி பர்சன்ஸ் சொல்லும் போது தான் it will have more impact and more effect. ஏன்னா நீங்க வந்து from your experience you have evolved your presentation. Okay, நாங்க எல்லாம் புக்ஸ்ல படிச்சுட்டு வந்து பிரசன்ட் பண்றது அவங்க போர் அடிக்குது நினைக்கிறேன். So I think when they listen to you, I think they carry home many good things. ஏன்னா நீங்க சொல்றது ரொம்ப அவங்களுக்கு closer to their heart இருக்கு. Okay, நாங்க சொல்றது closer to their head. அவ்வளவுதான் brain வித்தியாசம். Thank you, Vasundhara. Really enjoyed it. I felt very tired. I had lots of work today, but then I just spared this moment only for you. And Niharika, the presentation damn good, and yours is more and more relevant, for today's context. Everybody sitting here, other than the teachers, the student folk, they really need such a kind of inputs which you have given. Okay, thank you, Vasundhara. You have given heart and soul to this presentation. The Guru Nanak College feels very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
So, you did justice. Thank you very much. We'll invite you to our college later on when things settle. Okay, so please come home. Please come to our college. Like, come home, I don't feel for yes. Okay. Sure. Yes. Definitely we will have more and more sessions with you. Thank you. Thank you. All the best in life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Vasundhara, she is our Vice Principal Student Affairs, and she's our Professor, Department of English.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so getting her blessings is a very big thing for your growth in your career. So it means a lot. Yes, dear. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share? Otherwise, we will just move on.
Yes.
Anyone else would like to share?
Uma, I want to say something.
Yes,
Uma.
madam. Please, madam.
I want to say.
Please, madam.
Neharika, she said about extrinsic and intrinsic confidence and both the things that she said. I really thought more about that. After that, I was thinking about that. I wanted to read more about that. So she gave a clue for one particular topic. I started to think, see, though she's a very small girl, she has given a clue to think about more. So I have to salute her. Neharika, thank you very much. And Vasundhara, really, you're superb. Really, thing is, I told my students, like your age group only, one resource person is coming and you should attend, and definitely it's going to be beneficial. Like that I said. Then they said, then what they are going to talk, madam? Please tell me, madam, like that and all they asked. Then I said, like a self-confidence, and then the next thing is communication and CV, all these things that I said. Then immediately they said, definitely we will attend, madam. And tomorrow, definitely I will ask. Because definitely each and every one, those who have attended, now I have seen the participants also, those who have attended, really they would have got benefit out of you. I salute you. Because especially our own students, it is a must one. Because the communication is the most important one. And most of them are lagging behind it. So it's a compulsion one for them. and it's a right time that you have come, and I have to thank organizers also, Uma and Radhika ma'am. I'll have to thank for them also to invite you, and in the same age group, one is giving means, as Kalanidhi ma'am said, definitely it will hint somewhere, it will hit them in their mind, and definitely they'll come up. Thank you so much, ma. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. That's a lot. That's a real appreciation for the speakers as well.
Vasundhara, she is Dr. Malati ma'am. She's Dean of Humanities. School of Humanities.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. Thank you for your kind.
All their appreciation means a lot to you, and so these are all real blessings to you, dear. That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dear. Yeah, dear. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. Let me know as very formally to thank. So let me take up the initiation to propose the word of thanks. At the outset, I would very heartily thank our General Secretary and Correspondent, Mr. Manjit Singh Nayarji, for his constant support in all our activities. My very sincere thanks to our most beloved and respected principal, sir, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, for his instinct motivation. And he is so very vibrant enough every time he sees to it that he's present and motivating in person all the activities which are being conducted in our college. Hats off to him. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to the invited speakers of the young speakers, I call them as the most young ladies who have been here, Ms. Niharika and Ms. Vasundhara Suresh, for enlightening us with various aspects on self-confidence, using communication as one of your strong weapon, and how self-direction, motivation, and discipline is should be there in one's life to make us more progressive. My sincere thanks to Dr. L.R. Kalanidhi Madam, Vice Principal Student Affairs, for her wholehearted support. Dr. Malati, Dean Humanities, for welcoming the gathering. I thank all the deans from various schools, heads, staff members, and student friends of Guru Nanak College, and all the enthusiastic participants from various parts of India and abroad who have made this session a very, very successful one. A special mention for the host of today's program, Ms. Priyadarshini and Ms. Shivajyoti, who conducted the event in a very beautiful and smooth manner. I thank the Almighty for blessing us to conduct the event successfully. I thank you all once again. Please join us tomorrow for very, very interesting, especially for the final year cadets. We have a talk on non-engineering career options, which is what we have arts and science. And he's also letting us know how to write or develop a CV, right? Tailoring of your CV, which is nothing but curriculum vitae or writing a biodata. This is one speaker. Another speaker will be on a holistic youth life, a challenge. You will have Mr. Pawan Kumar from Dubai and Ms. Ramandeep Kaur from India, who will be the speakers. And very important thing is both of them are our alumni. A proud feel to call them, and they will be here with us tomorrow. Right? So thank you once again. Thank you so much, participants, the team, the speakers especially, for having joined us for this International Youth Interface. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank everyone, and especially the audience for listening as well, and all of you for providing this great opportunity for me.
Thank you, Neharika. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
That's a pleasure. That's a pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, we can have both the people. I mean, speakers are there. I would like even some more teachers to encourage them. Chitra ma'am, Guru ma'am, Maha ma'am, some of them who are there. We would like you to pour up some more blessings on them.
Yes, ma'am. Really, we are very happy to hear from both the young ladies, young speakers. So nice to hear so much of information from at this young age. They are pouring like anything. Really, it's a wonderful session, madam. Thank you for organizing. May God bless both of them.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, madam. Yeah, some more teachers who would like to come forward, or even students who are there still available, can share certain things.
Yes, Swati.
Yes, Swati. Yes, Swati.
Ma'am, yeah, can I just share a few words?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You're most welcome. Yes, Swati, you can speak.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. So I was really I was so touched by how the way Vasundhara ma'am told and conveyed everything. And I am also a book lover, so I felt like, wow, we have a connection or something like that. I love reading books too. So, and also the way she shared and told the things to be confident and not to be scared and say things at what and to be how to be conveyed and all those things. It was really well. Like she made this impact in my mind, and it was so well said and conveyed, and it was really nice. Like I really like the way she told, and thank you, Usna ma'am. I was like really wow, so much ways and the communication. Like as you said, it was really well, like the presentation, whatever it is, the way you conveyed the examples, the ideas, everything was really super, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swati. Can we have Navneet Shiva? Navneet? Navneet Shiva? Yes,
Yeah,
Navneet.
hi, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. He is our ex-students, one of a very brilliant, academically sound student, and always taken part in a lot of such activities. If I'm right, Navneet, you can just connect with her. Please,
Yeah,
you can
thank you.
share your views. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, both sessions was very nice, and it was an eye-opening one, as everyone said. And as Vasundhara ma'am gave those tricks which we already have in hand, but we don't really recognize those tricks. So we can implement those in our lives, and I think everyone will be benefited out of this. And I'm sure that I'll also do and practice all the tricks she said. Thank you,
Thank you.
Niharika and
Thank you,
Vasundhara.
Navneet. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Vasundhara here. Just wanted to say thanks to all the organizers. I think Radhika ma'am got in touch first, and thank you to Radhika ma'am, and thank you to all the deans, doctors, everybody who has welcomed me and given such nice positive feedback. I am very grateful, and thank you for the opportunity. It's been a huge honor.
Yeah, dear. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vasu. Bye.
Shivani, we have Shivani. Neha Walia. She's also been commenting that it was a nice session. Yes,
good evening.
Yes, this is Lokeshwari, madam, if I'm right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
madam. Yes, madam, please.
Yeah, it was a very nice session and we enjoyed the session very well. I, along with my daughter, viewed the session fully. She's only 12 years old, but she was so much interested and she was very much seeing both of them as role models for her. I think as college students also would have seen them like role models and would have very much got an interest to develop their communication skills as well. So happy to be a part of this session, ma'am. Thank you so much. And Vasundhara and Neharika, thank you so much for all your valuable inputs. It will help us in guiding our students also. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lokeshwari, ma'am. Thank you so much. Maha, ma'am, Dr. Mahalakshmi.
Ma'am, I want to congrats the Women Forum, ma'am, Radhika, ma'am. Definitely today program, actually, both the resource person presentation is very effective for the students. Definitely these tips will be whatever the tips Vasundhara have given. So many tips have been she mentioned for the developing the communication for our students. If you see the chat box, so much of appreciation have been filled for both of the resource person.
Yes.
So definitely this session will be a very valuable session for our students, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity what you've created today for our students, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Yeah, we would like to also hear some students if they speak. Sunil Kumar. Sunil, third BCom. Yes, Sunil, please. Yeah, you can share. Yes. but we did not worry about how we are going to speak. It's only very little amount of children. I mean, students are here and staffs are here. Yes, Sunil.
Very nice, ma'am.
Neharika and Vasundhara.
Ma'am, one story said by Niharika. That story I will tell to others, ma'am, because
yeah.
I am very inspired with that ma'am.
What story? Can you say now the story? What was the story she said?
Ma'am, facing the audience like a bunch of butterflies. It is very interesting, ma'am. I also try to face like that.
Wow, very nice. That's nice, Sunil. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear. That's nice.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Jyoti.
Ma'am, both the sessions are very delightful and they conducted a very beautiful, ma'am. About Niharika, I learned about how to be self-motivated and what is the right path to take when we are in trouble. That's why I learned from her. And from Vasundhara, ma'am, I learned about this is the first webinar
correct.
I am hosting. I'm really feared and I don't know what to say. But after watching Vasundhara ma'am's speech, I'm really motivated. And from future, I'm also going to participate in more competitions and I want to enrich myself, ma'am.
That's
Thank
great.
you for the nice.
That's great. Thank you. So just a note, like these all children, we have picked them and they are all this learning step. They're the first time or the second time they're doing their comparing. So they are really happy and trying to learn a lot. As Vasundhara